Welcome to my kitchen again. I am going to be baking a chocolate cake today. This cake has no eggs in it. When I first thought about doing it, I thought, no eggs, okay. But you know, years and years ago, when they baked, and this is a very old recipe, they made do. My great-great-grandmother, if she baked something and she didn't have an egg, she made do. Or if she didn't have salt, which they usually had salt, it was like vanilla, she would put something else in it. So, you know, years ago wasn't like us today. We run to the grocery store and get what we need. We'd probably be better off if we didn't. But I'm trying to do less of running to the store and grabbing things, because I find that if you look at some of the things they're made out of, you think, oh, I don't want to put that in my body. But anyway, I know there were a lot of things that my great-grandmother, if she couldn't raise it, they didn't eat it. And, you know, our great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, they lived a lot longer, it seemed like, than what we do today. They didn't have all the diseases and everything that we have today. And I think a lot of it is what we're putting in our bodies. So I'm going to start out with 1.5 cups of flour. So we'll start there and we'll see where this takes us. Now I have 6 tablespoons of butter in my bowl already. And there's my flour. A lot of people will bake this cake and they can use it for a cake for diabetics, because you can put, which just about any cake you can do that with anymore. You know, you can add a sweetener like Sweet and Low, or a substitute to make it less sweet. Now I'm putting 2/3 cup of sugar in it. Bring those together. But you know, I stop and I look back at, I called her my little grandma, because she was my great grandma, but she was my little grandma. And I just wondered how she did all that she did. She lived up in the mountains in Pineville. That's where I was born. And I don't think there's anything she couldn't do. I know there's nothing her daughter, my mama, couldn't do, because she did it all. Then we're going to put our cocoa in it. And we're going to use a knife to level that off with. My grandpa had coal mines. My great-grandpa did. My daddy worked for him. Okay, our cocoa, I'm looking at my recipe because sometimes I goof. 3 tablespoons. And I haven't made this for a long, long time. A friend of mine just made it not long ago. There we go. And she's like my grandma, she can make anything. Okay, and then we're going to put in baking soda, a teaspoon of, no, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And half salt. Now I'll have all the ingredients posted down below, because I don't want to forget something. And you know me, I can forget. But my little grandma, she could do anything when it come to cooking and stuff. And I think she had, let me make a mistake here. I think she had like 12 kids. And I call her my little grandma because she was about that tall. And weighed about between 60 and maybe 80 pounds was the most she ever in her life weighed. So she was little. But she'd climb up and down them mountains. It was like nothing for her to do it. I don't know how she did it. And she lived to be over 100 years old. So, but she canned and raised everything they ate. So, I guess there's something to say for the mountain women. And I think I'd definitely call her a mountain woman. But she was something. She could cook, and they lived, I'm sure you've heard Greg talk about her. They lived in a log cabin up there on Browness Creek. Now I put a cup of water in here, and I've got my oven preheating at 350. And I need a teaspoon of vinegar. A tablespoon of vinegar. That's why I said I'll post everything below, because I'll say something wrong, I know. But anyway, Grandma lived in a cabin, and I was there many, many times. And you had to walk across this swinging, well, the bridge would swing a little bit when you walked across it, and I didn't like it. Thinking. But we'd go to see my little grandma, and I was scared to death of that bridge. And I don't know why, because there's only like 3 or 4 inches of water below it. And it was only like that far from the water. But I was scared to death of it. So when we parked, Daddy would always say, "Come on, sis, we can walk." And I'm putting a handful of chocolate chips in it, unsweetened. And Daddy and I'd walk down, below the bridge, take our shoes off, and walk through the creek to get there. So, but I just didn't like that bridge. I don't know. I just never liked it. But anyway, I just think what we put in our body is what's killing us. Because look at the people that my grandma's, and then her daughter, my grandma that I always talk about. I loved her so much. She lived to be almost 100. And now I've already prepared my baking dish. Anyway, my grandma, her daughter lived to be almost 100, but she didn't like going to the grocery store. Everything was too expensive. She said, boy, she wouldn't go to the grocery store today, would she? But she canned everything she had. She raised it, she canned it. My fingers are clean. And that's just how she did it. If you couldn't can it, grow it, and can it, you didn't need it. So, but now I didn't put an egg in this, and it'll be good. I promise you it'll be good. So, but there was times they didn't have an egg. And you'd think being out in the country like that, you'd always have eggs. But, you know, they had to have eggs for breakfast because they didn't have other things like we have. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. I heated my oven to 350, and I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes. Depends on your oven. And I'll bring you all back when it's ready to eat. So, anyway, I'll see you in a few. Okay, I have taken this out of the oven, and I am going to cut a small piece of it. You notice it did raise very nice, even though we didn't have an egg in it. So usually they say, if you don't put an egg in it, it won't raise. But I didn't put an egg in it. But you know, sometimes recipes don't call for eggs. And with the price of eggs today, this is a good one. I've thought about trying it and putting, instead of putting cocoa in it, putting a vanilla. It's still hot and it's falling apart. I'm not going to let that go to waste. I'm just not. But, you know, the inside of this has a texture. It reminds me of brownies. It really does. Okay. But I put a frosting on it. I just did the, okay, can't even think what I did. The whipped cream and Philadelphia cream cheese, rather, and put chocolate in it. Get my chocolate fix on this, won't I? Woo! I figure the grandkids will love the chocolate. I really think the texture of it reminds me of brownies. It's real moist, real like a brownie. Delicious. You'll have to try it. Let me know what you think, if you think it tastes like a brownie. But that's our no egg cake, chocolate cake, that our grandparents would have made, great-grandparents. And I think the next time I make it, I'm going to use vanilla in it instead of chocolate, and see if I can't come up, or strawberry might be good. That might be really good. But try it, let me know what you think. I think, I still think it tastes like a brownie. So, I want to know what you think. Appreciate you watching this video. Appreciate all your comments. And we love you bunches. And we thank you bunches for staying with us. And we're so happy that you're staying with us and having your friends watch us. We're really getting a lot more people watching our channel now. And that makes us really happy. So, anyway, have a great week. Try my cake. If you've tried it before, ask your grandma. She may have tried it. Let me know. So, have a wonderful week. We love you, and thank you bunches.